Among Us has been absolutely exploding on all of the internet platforms. Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, TikTok, fucking Mix. Oh. The reason for this is that it's a hilarious game that's quick, easy to understand and fun to play with a group of friends, or even other content creators, the latter of which means that every man and his dog is somehow now into this game that debuted in July 2018. Look at that graph! Shit's spiking harder than my internet connection during a thunderstorm. It's crazy popular at the moment, so it's only natural that a ton of new people are loading it up and playing it for the first time. But even such a simple game can be quite daunting to a casual player, which is what I'm here for. Welcome to your first game. There are one of two possible ways that your first game will go, so I have seen it in my good goddamn graces to double my workload and play 2 whole games of this bean murdering simulator in an effort to not alienate half of the people that watch this. Before we get into the 2 different playstyles, let's do a quick breakdown of how the game plays. The game is split into 2 sections, the running and doing, and then the talking and shooting. The first segment is where you start off. You and your crew will have to run around and do tasks and keep an eye on one another for suspicious activity. Once a dead body is found or an emergency meeting is called, we hit the other segment. It's at this point that everyone is brought into the conference room and you all get to have a thinly veiled, passive-aggressive chat on who exactly the lying murderer could be. This is most fun with a full lobby of friends where you all get to take turns screaming over one another and pointing the blame. Once a discussion is over, everyone votes, and the person with the most votes is killed off. The vote to kill someone off can also be skipped if everyone in your lobby is a goddamn coward. No skipping in my lobby! With the general gameplay formula out of the way, here are the 2 ways that your first game could possibly go. From a sheer numbers perspective, your first game is most likely to be a crewmate one, and if so, lucky you. It's definitely the easier of the 2 roles to start off with. When you first start the game, you will spawn with the rest of your friends. Your job is to run around aimlessly having no idea where anything is for the first 30 to 40 seconds of the round. Once you have that out of the way, you'll slam a bunch of buttons because none of your friends let you know what's going on exactly, and you'll inadvertently bring up the map, at which point you'll start to make your way to the closest exclamation mark. Once there, you'll notice that something is highlighted on your screen, at which point you'll probably get close enough to see the use button appear, which you will click. This will bring up a smaller display that will take up most of your screen, and you'll be greeted by one of the game's many mini-games. If by some sick twist of fate you haven't made your daily offering to RNGesus, you may find yourself in admin and stuck with the card swipe minigame. This will take several minutes to complete. At some point between the completion of this task and the negotiating your way to the next one, you'll be greeted by this screen and be taken into the conference room. Now, it's time for another sort of negotiating. Ooh yeah baby, it's your time to shine. Time to sit awkwardly in the corner while all of your friends politely and civilly converse with one another about who could potentially be the— I like getting voted off! Well, you were quiet in discussion, so now you're a ghost. Now your only option is to float around and do all of your other tasks while watching your other friends die. If your team can manage to get all of their tasks done and get your bar filled up, you'll win. Now, let's get to the fun part. This is where things get tricky. You've rolled low, and you've got an imposter as your first game. This is going to be tough. Playing imposter, you'll go through all of the same motions as a crewmate, but now you have a confidant, who over the course of the game you'll let down and disappoint with every missed opportunity that you didn't realize that you had. You'll find that you have a fancy new button that opens up the map and has a bunch of different icons on it, and then you'll eventually click one out of curiosity, only to accidentally close off a door between your partner and his next kill. You'll stumble around for a little while before eventually finding one sorry sod that's in a bad position and scoring yourself your first kill. This will immediately be followed by you jumping into a vent, which is another new button that you didn't know that did a thing, before a body is found and reported. Now, during this discussion, you'll sit quietly in the corner while all of your potential kills politely and civilly discuss who could possibly be the killer. After some discussion, one of the crew members will say something sus, and your buddy will dogpile on that weakness like an e-girl on a simp's wallet. The game will progress in this manner until you find yourself in the final discussion and your buddy gets voted off because he stammered his explanation a little too much. It is at this point that you have to put your big boy pants on, get the final kill, lead the discussion, and win the game! To conclude, Among Us is a fast-paced and fun party game to play with your friends, and have a great time throwing accusations and defending your poor life choices. The game relies greatly on experience and mind games from both sides to potentially find your way to victory, so here's a few tips to help you in your future games. As an imposter, your vision radius is generally larger than the crewmates, so you can get away with more than you think you might be able to. When scouting out potential kills, try to run away from the scene of the crime and gain an alibi by being seen by somebody else in a different area of the map. You may have to vent to get into this location. As a crewmate, keep an eye on who is vouching for who in discussions. If you find that one person constantly deflects any accusation is thrown at another member without giving a reason to be doing so, chances are they're both the imposter. If you're suspicious about someone and they look to be doing tasks, it's worthwhile to keep an eye on the progress bar to see if the bar moves when they finish their task. This can give you a good indicator whether or not they are actually doing the task and can sometimes even outright catch an imposter in a lie. If you happen to find yourself not able to convince your friends into playing the game, and you find yourself in a lobby with a bunch of random strangers, here's a couple of tips that can help you dominate against the randoms. Don't pick Cyan, sus, vote Cyan. And that's your first game of Among Us. Have fun with the next one.